In this WrestleTalk news, WWE ending the Bloodline, Nia Jax to AEW, a full review of Raw, and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
The 20th of March episode of Raw was so exciting, not just because of the prospect of Roman Reigns losing his championship at WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes, but also for the ramifications of that loss post-Mania, with Cody in a promo on Raw effectively calling the shots for the next 6 months of WWE storylines, saying that a Roman without any Reigns is a chief without a tribe, and that Jay will leave him, Jimmy will leave him, Solo will leave him, and Heyman will leave him. A fantastic show-long storyline Pete will fully dive into in our Raw review later in this video. But with the Bloodline set to disband, there is only one Roman relation left to stand with him. Everyone's favourite Nia Jax. Nia, seen here holding her butthole and screaming, "My hole," was released by WWE on November 5th, 2021. But she returned at the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble as a surprise number 30 entrant. I presume she'd made a full-time comeback, but she hasn't been seen since. And she's now revealed at a K&S virtual signing she would consider joining AEW. I actually would join AEW. I keep getting asked that question, and I usually say no, but I actually would. I'm really good friends with Syres. I love what she's doing there. I recently met Nyla Rose. It would be kind of cool and add something different. It just so happens that Syres, the former page in WWE, is currently leading a faction of ex-WWE stars inside AEW called the Outcasts, along with Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. Nia Jax could be the perfect ex-WWE heat magnet to round out their speculated blood and guts match team. Would you like to see Nia Jax in AEW? Let me know in the comments where I'll be replying from out of my hole. Jax isn't the only big free agent name Tony Khan might have his eye on, as Fightful Select is reporting Goldberg's WWE contract expired at the end of 2022, meaning he's been available for AEW to sign since January 1st. That must have been an expensive 10 months for WWE, as Goldberg's last match was losing to Reigns at February 2022's Elimination Chamber. Because that's what used to happen before Triple H definitely took over creative. Goldberg used to fight for main championships! AEW and Tony Khan's interest in Goldberg dates back to 2019, as the president is a huge fan of WCW, as seen by Dynamite's use of Sting and Tony Schiavone. And there's a ready-made match for Goldberg right there on AEW programming, going against the promotion's own homegrown version of him, Jade Cargill, to end her streak. Or Wardlow, I guess Wardlow makes sense too. There's been loads of Hall of Fame news and an emerging story of wrestlers being harassed. Make WrestleTalk.com your homepage for those links in the video description below and the latest breaking wrestling news. Now over to Pete for the Raw review.
And now it's time for my review of last night's Raw in about 5 minutes, where I'm just going to talk about all the Bloodline stuff first because it was all great. This show started how SmackDown finished, with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens reunited and having a great time. KO put over Sami as the best wrestler in the world. This of course brought out the Usos, who said that if they think they're doing something at WrestleMania, they're mistaken, but KO said that's obviously what they want. Jay and his brother versus Kevin and his brother at WrestleMania. Initially they declined the challenge, but Jay thought about it for a second and realized this may be the only chance they get to take them both out at the same time, so he accepted the match. They brawled after and only stopped once on the Tron Reigns arrived with Heyman and Solo. I love how the word brother has been used in this story. Jay said he loved Sami like a brother in the trial of Sami Zayn, and at the Royal Rumble, Jimmy called out Jay and said, "This is your brother, I'm your brother, Oos," as he was attacking Sami. Now Sami and KO are calling each other brothers, while Jay, Jimmy, and Solo are all actual brothers. I just love these little details. This continued backstage, where Roman sat down Jimmy and Jay, and Jimmy said to Roman that nothing hurts him more than being torn apart from his brother Jay and being blamed for it, which is so beautifully perfect because that's exactly what Roman did to Jimmy to join the Bloodline, and what he did to get Jay to submit in their I Quit match. And you could tell this is what crossed everyone's mind, as they all looked concerned towards Jimmy, but he went on to say he'll never forgive Sami for what he's done, and Roman breathed a sigh of relief. Roman then told everyone to leave except Jay, where he asked him if he's still Bloodline, and Jay said he's with him. Roman said that's all he needed to hear and let him go after telling him he loves him. Paul Heyman came in to ask Roman if he found the answers he was looking for, and Roman said he did. But now I don't know if you know this, but this is an exact repeat of a segment Roman had with Sami Zayn, and the parallels are so delightfully juicy. Or so delightfully oozy, I guess. And in the show's main event segment, Roman was interrupted by Cody Rhodes in a wonderful promo battle. Roman berated Cody for running away, saying he didn't want to do Stardust, so he ran away, he couldn't get over in a company he created, so he ran away, and come April 3rd, he's going to have to make a choice after he's failed yet again, and he can either make a choice that makes his dad proud, or he can run away again like a little bitch. Cody's response was immaculate. He told him that after he wins, Roman is going to have to wake up on April 3rd and remember what it's like to lose. And after he loses, Jay will leave the Bloodline. Once Jay leaves, Jimmy will leave too. And once Jimmy leaves, Solo will leave too. And once everyone else is gone, Heyman will revert to being an advocate again, insinuating he'd return to Brock Lesnar. And then he'd be Roman with no reigns, he'd be a chief with no tribe. What made this frankly incredible promo even better was Roman's reaction to it, with his usual stoic demeanor being instantly shattered when Cody mentioned that Jay's going to leave him. And Roman didn't even have a response. He looked like he was going to say something, but just walked out troubled. The cherry on top of the icing on top of the already delicious cake was the interaction between Cody and Solo, with Cody saying he's been where Solo's been as a second-generation star standing next to a guy with a title, and when you're in that position you think you're ready, but you're not. At the end of the segment, Solo tried to Samoan spike Cody but was blocked, and as he went to attack him again, he was stopped by Roman, with the body language showing that Roman kind of agreed with Cody. He doesn't think Solo's ready. This was absolutely perfect and highlights all of Roman's flaws and insecurities in one little neat package. Jay and Jimmy are upset with Roman. Solo has reason to be upset with Roman too. And yeah, I think Cody just told us exactly what's going to happen. Roman's going to lose everything. This very well may be the end of the Bloodline, and it will all come crumbling down in one fell swoop. Everyone loses their belts at Mania, and on the Raw after, I think the show ends with Roman's full-on meltdown. This could even be the cue for Roman taking an extended vacation. This, I feel, will be the end of the Bloodline, capping off an incredible 2.5-year story, and for my money, one of the best stories in WWE history. No, scratch that. In my opinion, the best story WWE has ever told. If I hadn't been sold already, this sold me on WrestleMania. That's it, I've got the story I need, all the work is done. Now you just need to stick the landing. Well, that was all the Bloodline stuff on this show, but there was other stuff too, which I suppose I should talk about. Austin Theory beat Montez Ford as he continues to build momentum ahead of WrestleMania, as he should. Ford got a great showcase here too. Theory did a quick post-match promo where he said he's going to win. Chelsea Green backstage accosted Adam Pearce and said that Carmella was unavailable to tag with her against Asuka and Bianca, so she was replaced with Piper Niven. Alrighty. After a video package hyping Omos versus Brock Lesnar where it was all about the numbers, Omos squashed Mustafa Ali. MVP did a quick post-match promo where he said Omos is going to win. It was almost identical to Theory's promo earlier. Logan Paul hosted Impulsive TV next, and while promos have not been Logan's strong suit thus far in WWE, this one was actually pretty good. He said he didn't need to be here, he's here because he loves it, and no matter how much he proves himself in the ring, nobody will ever respect him. It was a really well-delivered promo and even got in some actually good local cheap heat too. Seth Rollins was shown to be in the production truck and cut out Logan's mic before coming out and brawling, ending with Logan once again knocking out Seth with his super duper punch. This was all pretty solid. Dominic Mysterio faced Johnny Gargano next, and I really like what they're doing with Dominic, slowly showing more and more of Dominic's progression, compared to him basically being a joke when he first joined Judgment Day. And in this match, he managed to hang with Johnny Gargano and even got the win courtesy of Gargano being injured after an attack from Grayson Waller at his home on NXT. Dominic threatened to get his WrestleMania match when the entire Mysterio family were present on SmackDown, so he's gonna threaten his mum. Can't wait. Edge cut a promo where he was just a floating head with some candles that were oddly placed around him. He looked very silly. I also can't really buy into Edge as Spooky Man anymore because he's flip-flopped back and forth too many times between serious spooky nonsense man and just a dude. Rhea Ripley came out next and cut a solid promo but was interrupted by Bayley of all people, so they had a match which was kinda wild for a random Raw and also because it's heel versus heel. She ended up beating Bayley following some distraction from Becky, Trish and Lita, and I'm not 100% sure I'd have booked the match this way. Ripley looked great, as she should, but Bayley got nothing out of this. Chad Gable finds Otis backstage getting a manicure and then convinces him to come to his side instead of Maximum Male Models this time. But during Chad's match with Ricochet next, Otis was distracted and led away by Maxine Dupree, causing Chad to lose. This match was great though. It even got a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd. More of this, please. Bianca Belair and Asuka faced Chelsea Green and Piper Niven next, and even the commentary was calling out what a dumb build to Mania this has been. It never bodes well when people who were fighting at WrestleMania have to team up. You're right, Corey. It is shit, isn't it? Bianca hit the KOD on Piper Niven, and then Asuka attacked Bianca after the match, which is some kind of build, I guess. This Mania feud has been the buttest of butt ass. And that was the show. The Bloodline stuff was the most interesting part of the runtime, and good God was it worth it. It was absolutely impeccable storytelling, up there with some of the best segments in this entire Bloodline saga. And one thing I also liked on the show was that the wrestling mattered. Montez Ford, Dominic Mysterio, Chad Gable, Ricochet, all of their matches mattered. It makes the product so much more enjoyable when you have interesting wrestling and interesting promos and angles. It's all just feels so much more cohesive. I'm still going to give this show 5 out of 5, even with the weird Edge promo and the lackluster Bianca and Asuka tag match, because at the end of the day, this made me incredibly excited for WrestleMania, and that's the point. It's shaping up to be a hell of a show. Monday Night War is back, where me and Luke are playing My GM mode on WWE 2K23, and episode 1 of the season just went up yesterday on Parts Unknown. Check it out.
I need some words of encouragement. Just bear with me. Just bear with me.
Hey Luke, so I hear you're doing your 3rd season of Monday Night War, and this time it's in WWE 2K23. Now, there's a lot more features to go through this year, so that means many more things for you to forget. But this is a new game,